years, it was the most whispered about document in the world. A legendary ledger of names that could supposedly topple governments.
Prince Andrew and the former President Bill Clinton have been named.
More are expected to come out.
That he can still shock is extraordinary.
End Hollywood dynasties and expose the dark underbelly of the global elite. For a long time, these names were hidden behind heavy black redaction bars and court-ordered seals. But in early 2024, the vault finally cracked open.
It's almost hard to believe.
You telling me a pedophile? No, I don't believe it.
How, for so long, was a rich, powerful white man able to get away with something like this?
This isn't just a story about one man's horrific crimes anymore. This is a story about the network that protected him, the power that shielded him.
I was unaware that I was going to be alone with him. I thought I was going to die.
And the victims who fought for a decade to bring the truth into the light. This is the deep dive breakdown of the unsealed Jeffrey Epstein files.
Could Trump have something to do with Jeffrey Epstein's death? Was a complete molestation of justice.
To understand the files, you have to understand where they came from. These weren't handed over by the FBI or leaked by a whistleblower. They were the result of a grueling civil defamation lawsuit filed in 2015 by Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's most prominent and vocal survivors, against his longtime associate, Ghislaine Maxwell. For years, Maxwell's legal team fought tooth and nail to keep these records secret. They argued that releasing the names of John and Jane Does, mentioned in the depositions, would cause irreparable reputational harm. But in late 2023, Judge Loretta Preska issued a landmark ruling. There was no longer a legal reason to keep these identities hidden. The unsealing wasn't a single event. It was a slow-motion car crash. Thousands of pages hitting the public record in waves. It contained depositions from survivors, flight logs from the Lolita Express, and private email exchanges that pulled back the curtain on a world of unimaginable privilege. Let's discuss the names in the shadows. As the pages refreshed on the court server, the world held its breath. Names started to emerge. But here is the crucial distinction. Being mentioned in these files is not a criminal conviction. Some individuals were mentioned as mere acquaintances, others were passengers on his private jet, and some were the subjects of shocking, unverified allegations, which causes the lines to be blurred between who did what. The power players. Prince Andrew, perhaps the most damaged by the release. The files contained detailed, graphic depositions regarding his presence at Epstein's properties in New York and the Virgin Islands. Prince Andrew asked Jeffrey Epstein's fixer, Ghislaine Maxwell, to arrange meetings with inappropriate friends, while she sought friendly and discreet and fun girls on his behalf. It reinforced the allegations that eventually led to him being stripped of his royal titles and military honors. Bill Clinton, mentioned over 50 times. While the files noted Epstein's boastful claims that Clinton liked them young, the documents also confirmed that the former president had not been charged with any wrongdoing, and his team maintained he hadn't seen Epstein in years. Donald Trump, mentioned in depositions regarding his social history with Epstein in the 90s. Among the mentions of Trump in the latest batch of the Epstein files is a note from a federal prosecutor from January 2020 that said Trump had flown on the financier's private plane more often than had been previously known. An assistant U.S. attorney from the Southern District of New York said in an email that flight records the office received on January 6, 2020 showed that Trump was on Epstein's jet many more times than previously has been reported, or that we were aware. The prosecutor who flagged the Trump mentions in the flight logs said they did so because lawyers didn't want any of this to be a surprise down the road. However, the files also included testimony from survivors who stated they never saw Trump at Epstein's private island or involved in any illegal activities. The cultural elite. The list spanned every sector of society. From world-renowned scientists like Stephen Hawking, who was photographed on a trip to the island, to magic icons like David Copperfield and Hollywood heavyweights. The files painted a picture of a man who didn't just hide in the shadows, he hid in plain sight, using his proximity to genius and fame as a form of social currency. The most chilling parts of the files aren't the names of the famous. They are the descriptions of the mechanics of abuse, the logs of the Lolita Express, Epstein's private Boeing 727, detailed a constant shuttle of young women across international borders. But the heart of the darkness was Little St. James, Epstein's private island in the US Virgin Islands. Survivors described it as a factory of exploitation. The documents detail a rigid system. Young women were recruited under the guise of massages. Their passports were often taken, and they were allegedly directed to influential men. Witnesses described the island as a place where the normal rules of society didn't apply. A sovereign nation of one man's making, built on the suffering of those with the least power. The files also raised a terrifying question. How did he get away with it for so long? Epstein had a prior conviction in 2008, a sweetheart deal in Florida that should have ended his social life. Instead, he returned to the elite circles of New York and London as if nothing had happened. The unsealed documents hint at a network of enablers. Professionals, lawyers, bankers, and fixers who looked the other way or actively facilitated the movement of money and people. It shows a man who used his wealth not just to buy luxury, but to buy silence and access. Even with thousands of pages released, the smoking gun that many hoped would lead to a new wave of arrests never quite materialized. Jeffrey Epstein died in a federal jail cell in 2019. The official word is suicide, but the circumstances, the malfunctioning cameras, the sleeping guards, have turned it into the ultimate modern conspiracy. Ghislaine Maxwell is currently serving 20 years in prison. But for the men mentioned in these files, for the most part, their lives remain unchanged. They sit in their boardrooms, they keep their titles, and they continue to occupy the highest echelons of power. The ledger is out, but the accountability is still missing. The unsealing of the Epstein files wasn't an ending. It was a revelation. It was a mirror held up to a global system that allows the ultra-wealthy to operate in a different reality than the rest of us. The names are known. The flight logs are public. The stories of the survivors are finally etched into the permanent record. But as we look at the names on the list, we have to ask ourselves, is the release of information the same thing as justice? Or is it just another chapter in a book that the powerful are still trying to close? In the world of Jeffrey Epstein, the truth is finally out. But justice? Justice is still a work in progress. We will follow this case closely. Stay tuned and subscribe for more.